Hello, this is Doctor's Newtopia. I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and I want to talk about archetypes, and particularly the archetype of the royal marriage. So why am I concerned with this? I mean, other than tomorrow is the royal marriage of the American Meghan and Prince Harry. She has to give up or she is going to give up her U.S. citizenship to become part of the royal family, as well as join the Church of England. And from there, she becomes a media darling, and perhaps she can do a lot of good in the world because she's one of the most famous women in the world. So this is a very powerful archetype of the marriage. All of a sudden in a marriage, you just change your status just almost overnight. You can move from rags to riches, to being a nobody, to becoming the world's most celebrated young woman. And there are people who have said that she is actually a feminist because she's going to walk herself down the aisle. And if you look at more of what the protocol is that you have to curtsy to people that have more social status than you do. We all know that Britain is not a place of social equality and that the blue bloods rule. And unfortunately, that archetype is still very present in the United States, even though that our Constitution tried to eliminate people from having titles, and it also says that everyone is equal under the law. That's really not the way it works. It's still blue bloods. And that system that originated in Europe was just moved to the United States under colonialism. Unfortunately, the colonial mind is still with us. And you can see that now with Americans absorbed by the royal weddings and the royal families and the very British traditions that we still bow to, practically. Well, so why is this dangerous? Well, for one thing, it just continues the colonial mindset, and we're never able to find that source of equality between people. And marriage continues to be this symbol of rulership. Now, even with wearing crowns on one's head, there is symbols in all of this. This is the symbol of the relationship between the monarchy and God. And why they rule this family situation is it's that love archetype, the two coming together in what you think is love in order to rule the people, in order to have good government. This is how monarchy works. And they're in there for life. Monarchs are not elected by the people. It's more of a theocracy. How do we get out of these archetypes? Well, that's a big question. That is a big question because it seems to be part of this dominion of Christ. Even the symbols of royalty, the orb is a symbol of the world dominion of Christ. So I think, it must be some kind of, and what this represents is mystical union. That's how they can connect it with the divine source, because love does have that mysterious, awe-inspiring, and core energy to it. And any good relationship is not created by people alone. There's something mystical about it. So we need more mystical unions that don't symbolize royalty and aristocracy and plutocracy and all of these things that the British Empire symbolizes and the colonial mindset worships. So I'm still pondering how we change these archetypes, but I know that these kinds of archetypes are what rules our society, and people do not take a critical perspective of these kind of relationships. It's almost an unconscious patterning that we have of this blue bloods, of the monarchy. And I'm ready to evolve beyond it so that we can get down to some basic human rights and be practical, which means, hey, these castles have got to go. And these private houses that are symbolic of castles in England have got to go. So I'm ready for these new archetypes to emerge, this new power of love to come forth to guide us into a different direction where everyone can find their true loves, and it's not based on classism. So thank you very much for listening to me this evening. Bye-bye.